In 30 seconds, you will be witness to one of the greatest online events in the history of, well, online events. Descript proudly brings to you a topic that you deeply care about and whose name is the title of this online event. I'm Don. I am not your host. I am an overdub stock voice included for free with Descript. So, now, let's meet someone who actually works here.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Hi, I am Jay LaBeouf. I'm the head of business development here at Descript, and you are joining us for our next Descript 101. For the past few weeks, we've been fine-tuning a new system and really getting our new webinars in order. This focus is getting started. So this webinar, we're going to teach you the very basics of what you need to know about how to get going with Descript. If you're an advanced user, hang on. I'll probably show you something you haven't seen before. And what we want you to do, feel free to write us questions in the chat window. So if you are joining us live, a great way to test out the chat window is to tell us where you are connecting from. I'm in San Francisco right now. It's actually a beautiful fall day, which means summer everywhere else in the world. Really getting settled in. And what we're going to do today is show you what Descript is. Descript is a desktop app, and you can use it on Mac and Windows. And the goal of Descript is to allow you to edit audio and video just as easily as editing a Google Doc. Now, we really run with that metaphor in the same way that you can invite collaborators to work on your Google Doc, in the same way that you can just cut, copy, and paste sections of text around and add comments. All of that is possible with Descript. Let's show you around. When you first launch Descript, you actually will get started in, let me back up a bit, in the project browser. So this is what we're looking at here. You come in, you see the project browser. The project browser is your kind of home base. And with this, you can see all the projects you've created, only those created by you, those that are shared with you, things that you have downloaded locally to your machine. Tutorials, this is a great place for you to get started. The tutorials, we have some wonderful, rich, interactive tutorial projects for audio, for video editing, and for transcription that you can find through this tab right here. This is your drive selector over here. So a drive, again, with the Google Drive metaphor, a drive is your home base. This is your cloud-based hard drive that has all of your projects on it. What we're looking at here is a collection of projects. Now, projects are collections of your documents and your audio files within it. So let me click on a project. This is our webinar demo project. On the left, I can see compositions. So Descript projects are organized into these compositions. Compositions are documents within your project. And you can think of this as your messy play space. So if we have an interview with Jonesetta Taylor, I would click on this, and this contains the interview from this person. It's the raw interview, start to finish, all the way through, and I can grab snippets of this and copy and paste it and put it in my other compositions. So a lot of people tend to create folders. You could say add new folder and create a folder down here to organize your material. So let's show you a composition. When you get started with Descript, you're going to have this very basic looking composition. It's clean, it's bright, it's white, it's empty, and it's important that we actually get audio into it. So the first thing I'm going to start with, I'm going to drag an audio file in. And this audio file is actually a recording that I did with two friends, with my friend Heather and my friend Amanda, and it's for a music podcast that we're doing. I'm just dragging in 1 minute excerpt. So I drag in this M4A file. It's a mono audio file with all three of us on there. And you notice down here some of the magic going on. On the lower left, it says transcribe one file. So Descript allows you to bring in audio, and we transcribe the audio from an audio file or a video file. Now, I know that there are multiple speakers in this, so I'm going to click on the Detect Speakers button, and I'm going to say that there's 3 speakers. If you don't know how many speakers, don't worry about it. Just hit Transcribe, and Descript will take its best guess. I'm going to click on Automatic. Most things in Descript you're going to do with Automatic Transcription enabled, and you're going to click on Transcribe. So what's happening in the background? A transcription is being generated in real time, and if you see this cloud icon in the upper right, you will see that all of your compositions are synced and backed up to the cloud. That's right. Everything you do in Descript always has a cloud-based backup. And I can very easily invite collaborators to work on this with me. So your transcription will generate, you can see just like that, a transcript of this 1-minute long audio file was generated. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to generate an hour-long transcript. So for a minute, it just takes 5 to 10 seconds. So here we have this file, and this is the transcript. Now this is everybody merged into one. In order to generate the speaker labels, I probably didn't click on the right thing. I'm just going to click on. So I'm going to click here on the media library. This is where you see all of the files, all the media files that were brought into your composition or into your project. The active one is right here. I'm going to just click on this. Normally Descript does this, so I'm just going to show you what happens if it doesn't. And click Detect Speakers. In the background, Descript's going to run this speaker detection algorithm. It's going to look for where different people are speaking and then start labeling it for us. I'm now going to go back to my compositions view. And in a second, we will see who these different speakers are. Speaker Detective will come up. Speaker Detective will kind of play us a snippet of who everybody is. All right. In the meantime, while that's running, we can see a transcript. And part of the magic of Descript is as you select text here. So if I select, hey, everybody, you can see that we understand where words are. So if I wanted to select this entire paragraph, you can see down in the bottom, you don't have to worry about the waveform. I imagine a lot of you have probably been looking at this waveform and wondering, where are the words? How do I cut and copy this? Honestly, if you're getting started with Descript, I'd advise you to just not even look at it. Try to do everything you can just with words, because Descript understands where words are. Okay, let me go, and we can see that I ran the speaker detective twice, so I'm going to click on Identify Speakers.
I'm really big into Megan Thee Stallion right now.
That's Amanda. I'm just going to type this for her speaker label. Hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is me. Jay.
Yesterday, I actually went
and my colleague
pulled out one of my records.
That's it. That's all we need to do. And just like that, we can see a labeled transcript with the speakers on it. So if I hit the tab key to start playing, okay, let's do it. Hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Jay. This week we have Heather and Amanda. Hey, everybody.
Hi, how are you doing? Hey.
So now we can see what is being listened to is starting to light up as we go. If I double click on it, for example, if I wanted to take this section and just remove it, I can just say Command X to cut, and I could just say Command C down here. And just like that, the media and the text were moved to a different place. I'm just going to undo that change for a second. So this is a pretty simple paradigm for copying and pasting text just as easily as audio, just as easily as you would with text. Another thing I can do is, well, let's say I want to remove some filler words. Let me play you a little snippet.
I actually went and pulled out one of my records from a few years ago, from Daftone Records.
So ums and ahs. This is something that we all say. I'm sure I'm going to do it a lot here. And what you can do with Descript, we underline this, and with one click, I can right click on the ums and ahs and you knows and all those filler words that we have. You can right click on that and say remove filler words. When I right click on this, you see it pop up in this search window, the project search button in the upper left. Descript has the ability to remove all of these filler words because we not only know what words are, we have natural language processing built in, so we know when they are used and in which context. So when you have a like, kinda, sorta, kinda, those spread out all in a composition. With one click, you can remove those. So using Descript Pro, I can choose all of these that are on here. With even the basic versions of Descript, you have access to all the ums and ahs. In this one, I have some ums, some ahs, some so's. I'm going to have those selected. Down here, I'm going to click on Ignore. So what Ignore does is just put a strike through on the media, so that way you can see it highlighted and see what your changes are. I'm going to click on Apply All. And just like that, these 4 ums and ahs are muted and skipped over. So let's play this sentence and hear how it sounds now.
I actually went and pulled out one of my records from a few years ago, from Daptone Records, an artist called Son and Star.
And this is a great technique, not only in a simple composition like this, but in more complicated compositions like this one from the Andreessen Horowitz podcast.
What I'd add is the cost of compute has come down enough that you can run very expensive deep neural nets.
And very quickly go through, apply all.
What I'd add is the cost of compute has come down enough that you can run very expensive.
Just like that, you can make yourself sound much better. And this is a great tool not only for helping your interview guests sound good, but you really shouldn't have to worry about practicing and fine-tuning and even redoing a take if you catch yourself having a lot of ums and ahs and things like that. Another thing that we do is have some really long pauses. So I'm going to go back to my composition. Now you can see, look at all this space at the very beginning of the composition. I want you to look at the waveform at the bottom. Make this bigger just by clicking on the handle and dragging up. You can also see there's just a lot of space and a lot of awkward space. Let me hit tab key here. Hey, everybody.
Hi, how are you doing? Hey.
Amazing, Heather. That is not exciting. That just has a lot of dead air. So what we want to do is remove the space between those words. Now, one way to do it is to actually use the word bar to do that. I mentioned that Descript knows what words are, so I can just go here and click on the word amazing, just drag it left. And by clicking on this, you can actually adjust the spacing between individual words. So not only at the beginning of a sentence like this, but I could go in and, in Heather, how about you? What are you listening to? If for some reason I wanted to adjust the spacing between the word to, I can just kind of click it here, and Descript will try to intelligently adjust the spacing between your words. So I could go through and then quickly make these shorter, so that way, hey, everybody.
Hi, how are you doing? Hey.
Amazing. But I'm going to undo that. I'm going to show you another way to do it. So not only can you adjust the spacing between words, dragging the word bar, but let me go back to this. But you can do something even cooler, removing filler words. Now, there's a couple ways to get to this. I'm sorry, I said removing filler words. I meant removing word gaps. So in Descript, you can either click on this search bar and say, instead of searching for filler words on the upper left, I'm going to search for word gaps. A word gap, what is that? It's a space between a word. I'm going to search for word gaps longer than, let's say, half a second. And all those word gaps longer than half a second, I'm going to shorten them to be a tenth of a second long. So we can see Descript's found all of these spaces where there's no words being said, and just click on Apply All. And just like that, all of my word gaps are shortened. Now let's go back to Amanda. Hey, everybody.
Hi, how are you doing? Hey.
Amazing. Heather, how about you? What are you listening to?
Yesterday,
Right. So this is already, it's tighter, it's punchier. Imagine doing this on a composition where you have an hour-long recording. I have an interview, for example, that has about 300 ums and ahs gone. A lot of really long, dramatic pauses like that, gone, just trimmed down. And now some of you might be saying, are those permanent? Are these changes everything that you can do. Is this gone forever? No, Descript is non-destructive. So I can actually go into the waveform down here, just like you can do in any digital audio workstation. I could click on here and you see I'm trimming this back. This allows me to access any material that's underneath this waveform. So this is basically just stretching the audio back out, because remember, I removed some silence here with remove word gaps. And you can do that anywhere you make an edit in Descript. In this case, you can actually see here's the hidden that I removed earlier. Just gonna put that back here. Anything you can do in a digital audio workstation, you can also do here. So if I wanted to add a fade here because I don't like how it sounds, just click here, drag to the left or the right, add a crossfade, add a fade on the way in. Really, it's just some simple techniques you can do. And of course, volume automation is something we can apply as well. So right now, we've showed you how to bring content into Descript. I've shown you some very basic ways to start editing, cutting, copying, pasting your material together, how to remove some filler words, how to adjust the spacing with the word bar, and how to remove word gaps. Well, we have this. Maybe I want to start adding some markers to this. So just by hitting Command Return, I can add a marker to help me get a little bit more organized. So I can just say intro. I can down here wrap up. And what's nice about this is not only can you visually see what's going on, but you can quickly navigate, either clicking to the right of the time code. You can see intro or wrap up. If I click there, Descript will move to where it is. But I can also press Command K. So this is something that we call the conductor. You can also click on this little light bulb thing up here. Command K is your command palette. Think of this as what you want to do whenever you want to jump around within Descript, whenever you want to go to a menu, basically whenever you want to do anything. I would do it with Command K first. Let me show you a quick example. I'm going to say Command K, and imagine I want to go to the interview on my left side of my screen with Jonesetta Taylor. Now I could go over here and click on it, or I could just start typing Jonesetta, and you can see it's going to auto-complete it. And if I hit return, we now have changed compositions and gone to this interview. Now, when I want to go back to the Welcome to Descript project or composition, Command K, start typing, welcome, hit return. Here we are back here. So one more time, I'll go back to Jonesetta. And let's say something interesting happened at 30 seconds into this composition. Command K, jump to 30 seconds. I type 30. If I hit return, it'll go to 30 minutes, which is fine. Or if I type 30s, 30 seconds. Tab key.
Today is March 15th, 2017.
So this is a great way if I want to go to 2 minutes, 30 seconds, or if I want to go back to the beginning. The command palette is a great way not only to jump around between compositions and time code, but if you want to remove word gaps, just start typing a word. You can see remove filler words, shorten word gaps. It's just a great way to all around access features and functionality. Okay, let me jump back to the Welcome to Descript project. We see I have some markers. I want to update the transcript a little bit. So it's really important to maintain a high quality transcript whenever you are working in Descript. Not only is it easier to edit, but for accessibility reasons and also discoverability reasons. For accessibility, there's a lot of people out there that actually won't be able to consume your content. They can't hear your content. So we need to create a very rich written transcript of the dialogue or the content that's going on to enable everyone, and also people of different learning styles to enjoy your content. The other thing you're going to want to do is to increase the discoverability of your content. So think of this as like your search engine optimization. You need written text. You need lots of great source material. So that way search engines can find your material. So that way Apple Podcasts can index it. So that way, if you're putting it on YouTube, YouTube sees that there are captions and can actually promote it up. If you're promoting something on social media, you can actually have a good transcript. But in order to do that, we need to fix some mistakes. So here we see a couple things. People are going to point out that, okay, Dapstone records, I need to make some capitalization mistakes or corrections. So up here, it says edit media. You can switch between edit media and correct text. What's the difference? In edit media mode, if let's say we mistakenly heard the word records and it shouldn't be there, if I hit the delete key, it's gone. The word records is gone.
Daptone, an artist called Sonic.
The word records was just removed, both audio and text. If I go to correct text mode, this is just for fixing transcription mistakes and typos. So if I did want to delete the word records, you can still see it's down here in the word bar. It's just going to be removed from the written transcript that we can export later. Okay, so I'm going to go through, I'm going to fix records, I'm going to fix sun and star. You can see over here, speaker label, there's a mistake here, so it's important that I show you all the mistakes that we can make too.
Morning started on a really positive, happy, uplifting R&B note. Sun and star.
So we mistakenly thought the word happy was from Amanda. Just click on the X, speaker label's gone. Hit the delete key to shorten some of the spaces between these word gaps. Okay, change R&B to R and B. Okay.
Morning started on a really positive, happy, uplifting R&B note. Sun and star is my recommendation right now.
Amazing. That's all the time we have. Okay, fantastic. So we've showed you how to correct the transcript. I'll show you how to export it in a bit. But first, we need some intro music. So with Descript, you can not only bring in text, but text and audio and video. You can bring in music and sound effects as well. So I have a theme song, worked with an artist. So let's put the theme song. I'm just dragging it in from off the screen and dragging in this MP3 file. So now we see it's added as a separate track. Now, I don't need all of this. I'm going to drag the waveform a little bit higher so you can see it. There we go. We don't need all of this music. I'm actually just going to right click on this and say split clip. And so by saying split clip, I'm just going to create a little dividing line. I'm going to double click on the second half of this composition or of this waveform because I don't need it. Hit delete. And now the next thing I'm going to do, I actually want my music to start a little bit earlier. If I start it all at 0. Okay, let's do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Jay. This week we have Heather. Normally, we should have some music starting first. So I'm just going to hover over the top of this, clicking on this track, and you can just see like I can actually just click on it and drag it. So I'm going to have this music start maybe 5 seconds in advance. Awesome. I'll drag that there. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have it fade up a little bit. So put this fade right here. And then I'm going to have a little volume automation. So that way, as I'm talking, okay, let's do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Jay. This week we have Heather and Amanda. Hey, everybody. So I'm going to have it slowly start editing down. So I'm going to add a volume keyframe. A keyframe is just a point in time. Nothing fancy. It's just this little dot right here. And by adding multiple keyframes, by right-clicking and saying add volume keyframe, I can slowly start ramping this down. So I'm going to have this go down much lower here, actually. I'll have this down here. And I'll build in this little volume ramp, and we'll be able to hear the volume slowly fade as I'm doing the intro. Also, I say, okay, let's do it. While I'm here, I'm going to make a text correction. I don't want that. I'm going to ignore that text. So you'll still see it here with a strike through. I don't want that. So let me do Command K to go to 0, which is where we start, and hit the tab key and see how this sounds. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Jay. This week we have Heather and Amanda. Hey, everybody.
Hi, how are you doing? Hey.
Amazing. Heather, how about you? What are you listening to?
Yesterday, I actually went and pulled out one of my records from a few years ago.
Okay, I think that's sounding good. We'll just have the music swell back up. So I'll go over here. And when we get to the end, do some volume automation, add volume keyframe to make it go back up again. Okay, outstanding. See you next week.
Thanks, Jay.
Great. All right. And then I'll do a nice little fade at the end. Great. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of my word saying great. So now at this point, we've showed you how to add music and sound effects into Descript. I added just a music file. You could go through and spot in music and sound effects, and this is what they look like in Descript, where you just drag them into where you want in the script, and then we'll show you a little play icon of where they occur. Okay. Something else I'm gonna want to do, I've been jumping around a lot. I've been just telling you about Command K. I've been telling you about entering correct text mode. Now there's keyboard shortcuts for everything in Descript. And we showed you here in the Conductor, Command K, but you can also see, so it's Command E. If you're like me and you can never remember keyboard shortcuts, they're down here. So go in the bottom right, and you see this question mark in the very bottom right. It's our Help Center. So if you click on that, and then click on Keyboard Shortcuts, now it'll unroll and show you all the essential keyboard shortcuts that you need to know to use Descript. Things like playing automatically, jumping back and forth, increasing playback speed, scrolling up and down, making highlights, everything like that. So I'd encourage you to click on there. And while I'm here, I should also tell you about our Help Center. And we have a fantastic Help Center. This is what this actually does. And Chris will actually bring up some links on this. When I click on this, it brings up our Help Center, which is a great repository of where we have articles. So if I were to type in what's on the screen right now, I could search for things like word gaps or importing multi-track composition, and we'll bring up the article. Now, if you do have any problems, we have a red arrow pointing you to how to submit a support ticket. So when you click on that red arrow, it's going to pop up something that looks like this. Just go through, select what we can help you with, and our support team will get back to you usually within 1 or 2 business days, often even faster. Okay, so now that we're back, showed you where you can find some support resources. I just realized something. I forgot to give credit to the person who actually did the theme song for us. So what I'm going to want to do, I have a couple choices. I could go here in Descript and I can record it on the fly. So just by clicking on this record button, I can select the input. So in this case, I'm going to select from my Yeti X, which is this high quality mic that I have right here, my blue Yeti X. And I could just record right now. You are listening to the new music podcast. Today's music was written and performed by Adversity, featuring iFur, and produced by Will Stenson. For more information, visit adversitymusic.com. Now, what's really cool is you can see what we're saying and what I'm recording in real time. So Descript is one of the first platforms that allows you to actually edit as you are going along. So now I can see what I said. I could make some edits. You are listening to the new music podcast. Today's music was written and performed by Adversity, featuring iFur, and produced by Will Stenson. And I could actually say, you know what? That second take was better. So there we go. Now I've stopped, and I actually have my final take right here. I'm going to change the speaker label to me. You're listening to the new music podcast. Today's music was written and performed by Adversity, featuring iFur, and produced by Will Stenson. Very cool. So I could record that, but let's say you don't have access to a high quality mic right there. I'm going to select that content and hit delete. Why did I do that? Well, we have stock voices built into Descript. So what I can do is actually paste the text that I want to be said, and I can select one of these Descript stock voices. So click on the speaker label, and you see these names will pop up for you in Descript. Even in the free versions, the free downloadable versions of Descript, you can actually access high quality stock voices, and this uses our overdub technology. So you can have voices like,
It's now
good demo, Jay. You can have voices like,
She knows something's not quite right, but her drive to incubate is.
so you can have, I think I'm going to have Carla read my outro line.
You are listening to the New Music Podcast. Today's music was performed and written by Adversity featuring iFur and produced by Will Stenson. For more info, visit adversitymusic.com.
That is available to you completely for free. When you need to go in and add voice and dialogue, but you don't have access to a good quality mic, or you're not comfortable speaking with a mic for any number of reasons, you will want to use an overdub voice. So overdub is our voice cloning technology. If you do use the pro version of the tool, that will create a you can use that to create a high quality voice double of yourself. I know, pretty cool. So I have a Jay LaBeouf voice double. I could click here. I could actually say Jay Blue Mike is the name of my voice double. And then now the outro will actually be read using the voice double that I had created earlier in the day with only 10 minutes of my own training data. Today's music was performed and written by Adversity featuring iFur and produced by Will Stenson. For more info, visit adversitymusic.com. Very cool. And produced by Will Stenson. Produced by Will Stenson. All right. So that is overdub and some of our stock voices. So we have this. It's pretty powerful. I'm going to change this back to Carla. No need for me to read the outro. It's going to regenerate that. I'm also going to take this music and kind of drag it out a little bit. Do a very long crossfade. Click on here. Don't need that silence. Hit delete. Now we have our finished mini podcast. Let me show you about exporting. To export, click on this share button in the upper right. I could also hit Command K and just say export. When you click on the share button, you will see this export tab. First thing I could do is generate the transcript. So this would generate a Word file or a rich text format file, perfect for pasting into anywhere that accepts transcripts. So if you're using Buzzsprout, for example, or Headliner, this would actually take the transcript and allow you to put it in there. If you're using a learning management system like Canvas or Blackboard or something like that, you can export the transcript. I can make some selections here, click on export, and in seconds, there we go. It is now exported. Same thing with the audio. Click on the share button, click on export, click on audio. I'm going to export the current composition. You could also do it based on markers or all compositions. Select the audio file type you want to export. I'm going to do this as a stereo file, 48K. I'm going to do this at a higher sample rate. And then this normalized volume basically allows you to set the loudness levels. We go through and we automatically loudness manage this for you, so it'll sound as loud and proud as possible. Go through, say export. This is going to create an MP3. And in just a few seconds, you can see it's going to go through, render out your final audio file, normalize it, and then there you go. You have your podcast ready to go. Music, stock voices, everything good to go. Now, if you want to have a collaborator on this, with one click, I can click on share. I can invite Humera. I can invite Joel. I can invite my collaborator, Chris. Just add somebody's email address, click on send. It will be sent to you. And you can start collaborating right then and there. All right, so we have covered so much, bringing in audio, editing, copying, pasting, removing filler words, adjusting the word bar and spacing between words, adding music, using stock voices, exporting your content. Does this work with video? Yep. I'm going to click on this video button right here, and you can see in Descript, all you have to do is drag in video. We will allow you to edit video as easily as editing the audio and the text. So if I hit the tab key,
place than we tend to interact with in the real world. The result is...
so I can actually just click here, hit delete, and there we go. I can see the extra space here where Hank is thinking about words to say. I can actually click here. We're just editing that video on the fly, and the result is going to be a jump cut between here.
Than we tend to interact with in the real world. The result is that fewer and fewer normal,
It's pretty cool. I'm actually working on a 1 hour long conference presentation right now, which is not only a screen recording of myself, but I'm cutting in some other interviews that I've done with people. And it's just so powerful, not only to allow myself to just talk and not worry about the silences and know that I can use Descript to automatically remove them. I can use it to automatically mute my ums and ahs, but also I can trim down other people's video just by taking their transcript, copy, paste. It's amazing. Okay, so let's see if we have any questions. I've answered a lot, and if you do have any questions, now's a good time to submit them on the on the YouTube chat. Also, we have our support center open and some of our support team here. So seeing a lot of good questions coming in directly submitted as support tickets. But if you have any questions, hit me up. And if not, well, your time is valuable, and we want to call it a day. All right. Fantastic. Everybody, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderful having you. This is Descript. It's a powerful way to edit your media just as simply as editing your text. With that, I hope you can get started by going to descript.com, download the free trial, and check it out. Thank you so much for joining us.